Yo, what's going on? Welcome back. Episode 2. We're going to be talking about the NFL playoffs again. And was that weekend, that wild card weekend, a good one? We're going to be talking about the divisional round now. And we're going to be previewing the divisional round by also kind of recapping a little bit of last week's games and kind of my thoughts on that and how we're going to move forward this week. So let's just start off. We got on Saturday afternoon, 4:30 Eastern time. We have Broncos, the number 1 seed, versus the number 6 Bills. And I was a little shocked about that Jacksonville Bills game, first of all. I was expecting the Jaguars to run the football a lot more than they did. Every time they ran the ball, they were getting a healthy amount of yards, a very healthy amount of yards. And it just seemed like for some reason they just decided to try to prove to people that Trevor Lawrence was the guy. I don't know exactly what they were doing. It just seemed like most of that game they could have really put a hurting on the Bills. They couldn't stop the run. They were running these outside zones. They were just getting the ball to the perimeter, and Tootin could not be. I don't know why they didn't just run with Tootin every single play. It just seemed like, every single time that guy touched the ball, it was going to be a touchdown. Let's see I'm going to the box score real quick. Let's see. Yeah, Tootin had 4 carries for 51 yards. He was averaging 12.8 yards a carry. That is, all these coaches that are taking heat, I know this, that, and the other, but Liam Cohen should be taking a lot of heat for that. 4 carries for 51 yards, and he had 4 carries. 4? Travis Etienne had 10 for 67. He was averaging 6.7 a carry. And that is just 14 carries in a 27-24 ball game. You throw the ball 30 times, 18 for 30, 2 picks, 3 touchdowns. He only threw for 207. He threw for come on. 53 more yards they had on the ground? They had 154 on the ground. Lawrence had 31 of those. That is just unacceptable. That's unacceptable. If you're a Jags fan, you should have been you should be on this side just saying that is just 4 carries for 51 yards and 10 carries for 67 yards. That is just unbelievable. That was a 24-27 game. That's just, I know I just keep saying the same thing over and over again, but my mind is blown. I knew watching the game, I'm not going to lie, this is kind of the first time I'm kind of breaking down the box score. I was looking at it a little bit, but right now reading it and saying it out loud, because I haven't said it out loud, I was just looking at it like, dang, 12.8, averaging 12.8, 4 carries. And just watching the game, I think 3 of those carries were 3 in a row, bang, 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 and then he came out of the game. Tootin. That is unacceptable. That's unacceptable to be able to not take any heat over that. You're an offensive-minded coach, Liam Cohen. It's just, I don't know. That's just me. Jags defense looked great. They just, I don't want to say they look great, but they could stop the run. James Cook had 15 for 46. His longest was 11. He was averaging 3.1. You can live with that. And Buffalo shouldn't even have, the time of possession of this game should have been astronomically different. Jags should have held on to the ball, just ran it every single time they had. Trevor Lawrence should have been 12 for 18. Or 18, just 18 attempts. You should have had 20 attempts, something like that. So, I don't know. Bills escaped with this game, and I think that was the toughest challenge. I think the Jags were the toughest challenge any team would have had in the playoffs on the AFC side, because they can run the ball effectively, which they didn't keep doing for some reason, and they can play defense. They're a very good defensive team. They could stop the run. Their pass defense didn't look great. Let's be real. They didn't look great. But hey, this isn't about the Jags. They're out. This is about the Bills. And you know what? The Bills, Everybody says the Bills have Josh Allen. And if you watch my first video, that is the one thing that I said the Bills have over the Jags. I picked the Jags to win this game, but I said if Josh Allen shows up, it's gonna be a tough day for the Jags. And when you have a 10-yard quarterback sneak, that's embarrassing for the Jags. I mean, 10-yard quarterback sneak. That was crazy. Yeah, at the end of the game, they sneaked it 10 yards. Just kept that was wild. But anyway, the Bills move on. Okay, they win 27-24. Now they go to Denver, who has only lost once at home, and that was against who was that? Oh, that was against the Jags. That was against the Jags, and the Jaguars looked like a really good football team that day. They looked like that in the wild card round as well. But this is going to be an interesting game to open up the wild card round. I'm actually really excited for this because the way Denver gets after the quarterback is very intriguing because they have really good players. And I think the Bills are going to have a tough time running the football against this Denver Broncos front. It's going to be, I don't know, it'll be one of those things where, all right, let's look. I'm just going to look at, I'm going to look at that Jaguars loss. I'm going to kind of compare and contrast a little bit. This is the thing too. The Broncos don't run the football that well. They don't run the ball that well. I mean, RJ Harvey, he can get going. Now, if he gets going, he can get going, but that's not their MO. That's not what they're trying to do. They're trying to get Bo Nix to throw these little quick checkdowns, boom, 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 and work down the field that way with screens and let their athletes on the perimeter work. And I think that is going to work out for the Bills because Matt Milano likes to rally to the football. They have good enough safeties to be able to come down and make tackles. They like to tackle on the perimeter more than condensing that field and playing the run. For some reason, it seems like they're a little bit better on the perimeter with passes. They can come up and tackle a little bit better than their ability to stop the run. They're not as good there. I don't know why, but well, I do know why. Their front's not. I just don't know why it seems like they kind of rally a little bit better in the pass game to gain tackle out in the middle of the field. But in that game, in that Denver-Jacksonville game, and I know this is different teams and yada, 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 but Jacksonville was successful in the same way with Parker Washington leading the team. And it's going to be interesting to see how they defend Cordell and Sutton. That's going to be how the Bills defend Cordell and Sutton, I think is going to be very, very interesting because who's going to guard him? I don't even know who they're going to put on him. Bedford? I don't know. I don't know how they're going to. I don't know how they fare against these bigger receivers. And also, what's really going to be interesting is how they contain Bo Nix, because Bo Nix likes to try to get out of the pocket and make things happen with his legs. He loves doing that. He loves extending the play. If it doesn't work, extend the play, find somebody underneath, or just run it and take those yards himself. And if they cannot contain Bo Nix, it's going to be a very tough day to be able to get that ball back. And also, we kind of saw a little bit last week with the Jags-Bills with when I get Josh Allen had 273, I believe, in the air. 273, 28 for 35. And that last drive, he looked good. But realistic, if you don't look at the box score, I don't think Josh had that great of a day. Okay, I don't think he did miss some guys. And not only that, two of his receivers gone with an ACL. Shavers, number 14. That guy had a nice catch on the sideline, a big catch for him. And he's been kind of playing some good football. Okay, Shavers, he's not great, but he's been playing some good spotty football when they need him because he's a big body and Josh can kind of throw that ball to him and a little bit high and away, and it could be a little inaccurate, and he can go snag it, which is kind of a surprise down the stretch. They didn't have one of those guys. But the other big target that they had, Gabe Davis, torn ACL as well. So yeah, those two guys, they weren't a huge part of catching the football for them, but when they were in, they did a lot for them. You know, they took away a bigger defensive guy. Okay, you have to think Gabe Davis wants to go down the field. You have to think this Shavers guy. Now, he wants to go down the field because he was making some big catches for them. Bills especially against, I forget who it was against, but he was making some big catches at the end of the year. And I think those are I don't think they're huge misses because they're not the biggest targets they have, but a guy that Josh Allen really likes, and coming down the stretch, if it's a close game, Josh Allen wants to throw it to guys he knows. Okay. He's been throwing it to Brandon Cooks, but Gabe Davis can be that guy too. Not anymore. Okay. Shavers, they were starting to get some rapport. Shavers and Josh Allen, they were starting to look pretty decent. Keon Coleman, who has been scratched, healthy scratch, inactive, whatever you want to call it, he's going to have to step up in a big way. He had one catch last week. So that's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see who they put Pat Surtain on, who they put Moss on. You know, how do they attack this Buffalo offense? Because we all know Buffalo wants to run the ball. They're one of the best. I think that the best rushing offense. I think James Cook ended up taking the lead with like 1,700 yards or something like that. He took the lead with rushing. So we know they want to run the football. And how is Denver going to counter that? Are they gonna keep big guys in the box, which I think you have to? Okay, then you have what's his name? Khalil Shakir. That guy's shifty. Okay, so the Bills on the offensive side, I think Josh Allen is gonna find a way to get them open, but we gotta also think it's in Denver. Okay, it's in Denver, and when you don't have your two big targets that you kind of been going to a little bit in these gotta-have-it situations, I know they haven't been going to him like crazy. It's not like, I'm not talking about that this is like prime D-Hop, either of these guys. I just mean two guys being down is a big deal, no matter who they are. Even if they're 2 catch a game guys, or they're 5 catch a game guys, or they're 1, 0 or none, but they can still, like, just having a big body out there that knows what's going on and a veteran presence in Gabe Davis, I think is a huge, huge miss for them. And I think Sean Payton is going to have something dialed up, and it's going to be whose offense can break through first. I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I don't think Josh Allen is going to be driving up and down the field on him. I don't think it's going to be Bo Nix he doesn't throw bombs. So it's going to be him methodically working down the field. And I think if he can break contain and get to the perimeter, which the Bills are good at keeping him in the pocket, which I think will cause a lot of cover sacks for the Bills. I think Greg Rousseau is starting to really come on. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to Greg Rousseau, number 50 on the Bills. That guy is starting to come alive, and he is ready. That dude has been coming along. Let me tell you, he has been looking really good, especially in pass rushing. He's been looking very good. So will Bo Nix be able to find his little outlets if the play breaks down? Will Franklin be able to break some tackles and get going, get busy? That's gonna be quite a game. I wonder I'm gonna look. Let's see what while we're here, Denver weather Saturday. Let's see what the weather is gonna be Saturday. Okay, so it looks like it's gonna be low 23, 39. Does it give me like a time? So it's going to be, midday, so it's 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so it's going to be like, it's going to be 30s, which also neither team really, they both play in the cold. So that's less of a factor. But with the, the thin air in Denver, it's less of a factor for the Bills game. So it's going to be interesting. How do I think this is going to play out? I don't know. Let me think right here. Let me talk it out. I think Josh Allen is a good player. I don't think Denver's offense is that good. But I don't know how many points. I think Denver is going to score around 13 points. I think they'll have a touchdown, a couple field goals. They're going to go for it on 4th down once or twice and not get it. It's going to be interesting. Maybe 16 points. Maybe a weird score like 23-16 with some field goals. Because the Bills, we got to see how the kicker situation is. I feel like every week their kickers hurt. Or like the worst kicker of all time. And is it going to be windy? Let's see if it's going to be windy. No. Okay. 5-mile-an-hour winds. Okay. I think it's going to be 24-16. No, I don't think. I think it's going to be something like that. I think it's going to be 24-21. 18-24. 24-18 is going to be the final score. It's going to be 24-18. And it's going to be like tied. And Josh Allen's going to go down. Maybe. This is tough. Okay, now I'm just kind of rambling. I didn't write this down. I have nothing planned. So, okay, I think neither team's going to score the first drive. I think halftime's going to be like 10-6. Denver's going to kick 2 field goals. No, it's going to be 7-10. 7-10 at halftime. And it's going to be, Denver's going to be up because the Bills start really slow. And then the final score is going to be like 13-21. It's going to be the final score. 21-13. 21-13, I'm going with that. 21-13, final score. Boom, 21-13. Could be a horrible pick. Or 21-17. Who cares? I think the Bills are going to pull this off. Score prediction, final score, 21-17. I've switched it 45 times. Mark that down. Boom, 21-17. Bills win. It's going to be a bloody game. This Denver defense is going to be getting after it, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I don't think it's going to be enough. I kind of want to change my score prediction again, to be honest, but I'm just going to hang on to it. I want to change it, to be honest. I want to change that score, but I'm not. 21-17. Bills. Move on. Now let's stay on that AFC bracket, which is going to be Sunday afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern. We got... This game's going to be unbelievable. We got Patriots, Texans, number 2 Patriots, hosting the number 5 Texans. I think it's going to be kind of chilly, which is going to be interesting for the Houston Texans. Let's see. It'll be 37, so it won't be too bad, but it'll be cloudy and the temperature will drop. Now, let's go to these teams' games. Let's just preview it by going back. Okay. The Texans played Monday night against the Steelers, and boy, the Texans' offense and defense look like 2 totally different teams. Texans' offense looks so bad. They look awful. They look so bad. I mean, CJ Stroud, I mean, it's not looking good for him. This defense is really going to have to step up for them way more than in that Steelers game, because I think the Patriots are going to be able to move the ball on them. There were so many times where they didn't contain Rodgers, which I think they're going to really have to focus on. I think their pass rush is going to have to rush differently, because with Rodgers, they could have those inside swim moves. They could try to fake the outside and rip in. They could dip and rip, get inside the tackles, and because with the pocket, you don't have to really worry about Rodgers escaping out the side. You don't have to worry about that. And I think both ends, Hunter and Anderson, were both being able to bait outside, and then when they wanted to, they could rip under, hit the guards. They could play defensive fronts or games with the defensive front. They could twist and do these things where they're just all ripping inside, and they're just muscling through the middle, which Drake May loves to step up in the pocket, but he also is going to know that when he steps up, these guys are going to try to dip and rip. And Will Campbell has had some issues with that inside move, especially out of college. So they're going to know, the Patriots are going to know that coming in. So is Will Anderson, because it's probably going to be Will Anderson mostly on Will Campbell is what I assume. Will they be able to see that coming, and will Will be able to fight off that enough to allow Drake to step up and then step out and escape to the left? And also, will Danielle Hunter, if he starts trying to get too much pressure inside, if he, sometimes they run the ring too far around. They really try to get after the passer. And I think there's going to be two things that the Patriots are really going to be able to see from their last game against the Chargers and change for this game, and just be able to see how the Texans attacked the Steelers in that game. And I think they were very aggressive. The Steelers stopped. It was 10-6 for that Texans game, and they just stopped running the football. And it was 17-6, and they didn't run the ball the rest of the game. And that's when the pass rush was really getting after it. That's when they were really dip and rip, getting inside, just being able to attack that O-line. And I think it's going to be a little different. I think it's going to be a little bit different of a game for their pass rushers. I heard Taylor Lewan and Will talking about busting with I think they're on K Up and Adams or whatever, Kay Adams show. They were talking about how, Vrabel will go in and he'll say, hey, this is where they are not as good here. This is where they, where we can attack them. This is their weaknesses when they're pass rushing. And I think Vrabel's going to really be able to bring that in. And I also think they are very aggressive on defense. This Texans team is very aggressive on defense. And I think that they run a lot of too high shells. And I think we're going to be able to run. I'm a Patriots fan, of course. I think I've said that in the first episode. Now, I'm not just saying this stuff just because it's. I'm not talking as a bias. I just know a little. I watch them a little bit more tentatively, whatever. But I watch every game anyway. I think the Patriots are going to line up in a lot more heavy personnel and be able to run the football a lot better. And then if they rotate down, Drake May is going to dice this defense up. They let up explosive plays against the Steelers. The Texans were if Rodgers could have thrown the ball a little bit more accurate, the Steelers could have won that football game, but he just couldn't throw the ball accurate down the field. And every single time, Austin would be wide open and he would overthrow it or underthrow it, he would blame the receiver. You would see him being like, you would see him doing these motions, and Rodgers he's cooked. But I think the Patriots will be able to come up with a good enough plan on offense to be able to match what the Texans do wrong, as in they allow the deep ball a lot more. They allow a lot more. I think the Steelers were also pressuring a lot more of the running backs because they knew Rodgers wanted to check it down to the running backs. So I think they were playing a little bit more aggressive up, like with their linebackers and their safeties coming down. I think they were trying to like bait him to throw it downfield because they were like, he sucks. They were testing him, and Rodgers was just failing the test every time they gave it to him. So they're probably going to see something different. They're probably going to have to watch how the Texans attacked the Chargers a little bit more because they have a little bit, Herbert has a better arm, this, that, and the other. He throw it down the field a little bit more, and they're going to have to kind of look at that film a little bit. I don't think last week for the Texans was exactly what they're going to do against the Patriots, but I think offensively for the Patriots, they have a good enough balance to where you can't just pin your ears back and get after the quarterback, which the Chargers did a good job of getting after Drake May. But also that was Will's second game back after having an injury, and that was Jared Wilson's first game back. So they haven't even played together in 6 weeks, 7 weeks, something like that. So because the last week when Will Campbell came back, Jared Wilson was out with a concussion. So that's going to be interesting. Is going to be, can they get their chemistry back? And I think they will be able to. I think Will Campbell will be able to kind of. He's seen Will Anderson before, I believe, in college. So he'll be able to kind of work on that a little bit better. And but still, Drake May had the number one most yards against the Chargers their whole season, total yards, like 360 or something like that, just something, or 330 or 340 or something like that, more than any, but whatever. So I think the Texans are going to give up a lot of yardage, and their red zone is really spotty on defense, and that's where the Patriots struggle, is on offensive red zone. So I think the Patriots will prevail. If you have I think if both of you are kind of struggling in that spot, I feel like the Patriots' offensive mind and Josh McDaniels will be able to kind of outmatch that. And I think they'll score a lot more points than 16. And I think on the flip side, on the Patriots defense and the Texans offense, boy, there might be a lot of turnovers on that end. Look, if you listen to Pete Schrager, this defensive coordinator just started fucking 2 weeks ago. He didn't. He's been there all year. So Pete Schrager is thinking, oh, but whatever. That was hilarious. I don't know if you guys saw that, but Pete Schrager live on Monday night pregame brought up Zach Kerr saying, oh, don't you know Zach Kerr just started coaching the defense for the Patriots? He's been there since week 2. But anyway, his defensive play calling has looked just spectacular last week. He was bringing blitzes that I haven't seen in a while. Like he was just bringing the pressure, and I don't think CJ Stroud's going to be able to handle it, especially, hold on. Also, I just saw there was a report on Twitter, on X, that Christian Gonzalez is practicing today. Today is Wednesday, January 14th, and he is practicing today, first day at practice. He was out with a concussion, which is huge. Nico Collins, I'm not sure if he's practicing, but he was hurt twice in that game with his head. He was wobbly twice and came out. I don't know if Nico Collins is going to be playing in this game, and that could be a huge, huge, huge miss for this Texans team. That could be the difference of the game, because a guy like Nico Collins could give the Patriots defense a little bit of struggle, because Carlton Davis has had some struggles in pass defense with pass interferences. I think he's really good. I think he gets a lot less credit than he should, being opposite of Christian Gonzalez, getting a lot more balls thrown at him. And I think he's been playing really good. Also, against the Chargers, he had some key tackles in that game. Now, look, the Texans defense, they're really good. They had 2 more sacks all season than the Chargers D-line. So I think they're really good. I think all the talking heads everywhere is saying, oh, this defense is terrifying. They're scary. If you let them attack, they're scary. But they can be neutralized. I mean, on this 10-game winning streak, they haven't really played many good teams. I'm not going to go through it, but I was looking at it the other day. It's like they haven't seen a quarterback like Drake May who knows what the hell's going on, and an offensive coordinator like Josh McDaniels who knows what's going on, and a good run game that's starting to come along, and some good pass catchers out of the backfield that he could kind of bait these linebackers into coming down and getting it over the top. And I think they're going to have some big plays over the top this week. I think Kayshon Boutte is going to be a key contributor in this game over the top. I think another key player in this game, Kyle Williams, will be a huge contributor to this game, because if they put Kayshon Boutte or if they put Stingley on Kayshon Boutte, we are going to have Kyle Williams running directly past some DBs, and it could be the Chargers are the best team at not allowing big shot plays down the field. And I think also defensively, I think the Chargers missed a lot of plays down the field, which I think the Patriots have to adjust to that. I think they have to figure that out. But I also think they were so worried about Justin Herbert's legs that they were more worried when he got out of the pocket. It was like, just come up and But I think it's going to be a huge game for Kyle Williams. I think he's going to have maybe like 3-4 catches he's going to have a big day. And also another guy that is slowly coming along on the Patriots offense is Efton Chisholm, the undrafted guy out of Eastern Washington. He had one or two catches in the game. And one was a night he came back, adjusted to the ball, made a nice catch. Defender fell down, and he made him pay. He threw the ball. Okay, they had a double reverse throw, which we've seen that exact play to Tom Brady, which he dropped a couple times. He made a couple catches, but having him in there, hey, he can throw it. You throw him a screen, we might get that Ravens 20, whatever year that was, 15, 14, something like that. We might have a little double pass Efton Chisholm here. So that could be interesting. So also Christian Kirk. That guy can fly. He can play some football. You cannot allow him to run these shallow crossers or these over routes across the field, because he can make you pay. He was making the Steelers pay Monday night, and he looked really good. So if you can limit him, keep Dalton Schultz under contain, and they're not as good of a running team. Their offensive line is good, but I think the Patriots D-line will be able to kind of get after him. Milton Williams had an unbelievable game. Robert Spillane, they were flying around. Christian Ellis will be able to be a little bit less attentive to the quarterback in the backfield, because I don't think CJ Stroud wants to really run the ball. He doesn't want to run it. He's not going to be running around like Herbert. He might a little bit here and there, but he's not going to be running around. They can kind of put an extra guy in coverage instead of having a spy, or they can just bring him. And that's going to be interesting to see. So I think the Patriots will once again win this kind of handily. I thought they were going to score a lot more points last week, but I think 27 points for the Patriots is very, very possible. 24, 27 points, something like that. I think it'll be 27 Patriots to 10. 27 to 10. Maybe 13. 27-13 maybe. And that's generous. That 13 is generous. I don't think this Texans offense is going to be effective at all. I don't think they're going to be effective. I think the Patriots are going to get after them. Patriots are currently a -3. Also, Denver is a -1.5. So I think the Patriots are going to run away with this, and they're going to play the Bills in the AFC Championship in Foxborough. Boy, do I want that to happen. Boy, do I want that to happen. Ooh, man, that's going to be a heck of a football game if we get that to happen. But we got to get there first. We got to get through this divisional round. So I think the Bills move. I think 21, what did I say? 13, 20, 17? Something like that. 21-16, something like that. Whatever, who cares? 21-17 is going to be the final score of the Bills, and we got 27-10 Patriots over the Texans. The Texans wither away in the second half. They only get 3 points in the first. Actually, no, they get a touchdown in the first half. And they cannot do anything else the rest of the game. And they try to go for it a couple times, and they cannot do anything. And we're going to have to find another reason why the Patriots aren't good enough. The schedule. Anyway, let's move to the NFC. Okay, let's get to that Saturday night game. Seahawks, Niners. Seattle hosts. Opens at a -7. Seahawks, Niners. Now, here's the issue. No Kittle. No George Kittle. Whew, man, that sucks. That just sucks, man. That's just tough. The Niners are such a good team. They just have so many injuries. I wish Kittle was at least playing. I don't know. It's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough. They just played on the 3rd for this to host this game, to be number 1, and Seattle 13-3. Let's see who else is on this injury report. Trent Williams questionable. He'll be going. Jair Brown, he'll be going. DeMarcus Lawrence, Achilles questionable. We'll see. I think, okay, it's not we'll see. That's why I'm here. I'm here to tell you guys what the heck's going to happen. And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Hold on. I'm going to tell, whatever. Okay, I think, wow. I'm just looking at the last time they played. McCaffrey had 8 carries for 23 yards. Kenneth Walker had 16 carries for 97. Purdy had the worst game maybe of his life. That's not going to happen again. That's not happening again. I don't think so. And you know what else? I think Tunges is a heck of a football player. The backup tight end for the Niners. Dude, if I'm looking at this game, look, 13-3 was their last time they played. And Purdy looked horrible. I don't see that happening again. I really don't. And I don't see McCaffrey not doing anything. I think this was one of those games where it just wasn't a good game. Like, and I don't know. I don't know what the heck was going on, but 13-3, personally, I don't think that's going to happen again. I think this is going to be a totally different game. I think Shanahan is going to kind of he's going to buckle down, and he's going to be able to keep this game closer Now, do I think they're going to win? Yes. I think the Niners pull this off. And let me tell you why I think so. Christian McCaffrey had the worst game of his life. Brock Purdy had the worst game of his life, and they lost by 10 at home. Okay. Now, I do not think, I don't think that's happening again. I don't think that's happening again. Okay? This Niners team has went to the Rams and beat them 26-23. Okay? Yeah, they got whooped by them, but I think Mac Jones might have been playing that game. No offense to Mac Jones, but yikes. Okay? The first time they played the first game of the season, which is a wild way to open up the season, 17-13. So their defense 2 times now has held this Seattle team to 13 points. They've held them 2 times at 13 points. They're going to get over. This offense is going to be able to get moving. There's no other thing. I don't even know if, did Trent Williams get hurt this game? This might have been the game that Trent got hurt or didn't play. I'm not sure. Look, I'm going to tell you one thing. Do not sleep on this 49ers team. They've been there, done that. They've been there. Seattle's got Sam Darnold. Okay? I got to see it. And, I think this Niners team has a little chip on their shoulder. They just went into Philadelphia and showed them who's boss, and they scored some dang points. Okay? They went in there and just told them, hey, Philadelphia Eagles, I don't care that your fans are going to throw beer bottles at kids of our kids of our fans. I don't care that it's going to be cold. I don't care that your Philadelphia people are crazy and psychos, and if it was snowing would be throwing a lot of snowballs at everybody. I don't care. I don't care that your city stinks. Smells and just stinks. I don't care. Because so does ours. Okay? Seattle's in distress right now. We're not getting into it. But let me tell you, San Francisco 49ers, they are going to be playing with the dang chip on their shoulder. They're going to be playing for something. They're going to be playing for George Kittle. And that's what I really think that some teams might wither away and think, oh man, our freaking tight end is out. But Bob Tunges, that boy's going to be playing. He's going to be playing some dang football. Okay? He can make some catches now. He can make some plays. And did he against the Eagles? I think I remember seeing him making some nice plays. That is horrible that I just said that with so much sincerity and didn't even. Yeah, he had a catch for 14 yards. That's the catch that I saw. Okay? Oh, it's Jake Tunges. It's not Robert Tunges. I don't know why I thought Robert Tunges. Wow, that's bad. Anyway, also, key factor that I said in the last video who I thought was going to be a big player and a big key factor was Kyle Juszczyk, and he had 4 catches for 49 yards. Okay, I think he's going to be another big-time player in this game. I think they're going to use him a lot. They're going to use McCaffrey more. They're going to really use Jake Tunges. Sorry, Jake. Hey, Jake. My bad, dude. My bad. I will never call you Robert or Bob Tunges ever again. You're Jake Tunges, and you're the freaking man. And I love you. Well, I don't know. But the Niners fans are going to be loving you because you're going to have some huge catches in this game. I'm telling you, Jake Tunges is going to have a heck of a football game, and this whole team is going to rally around them. And the Seattle offense is not going to be doing what everybody thinks they're going to be doing. Jackson Smith-Njigba, that dude is a heck of a football player, but they've played him twice, and it seems like they kind of know what the thing is to do against him. Now, one was the first game of the season, one was, and whatever, but I do think it's going to be another low-scoring game. Now, how about this, though? The other way around. Seattle's offense is very good. Okay? But I don't know if they're going to... I don't know. with this weather, they're gonna have to run the football a lot. They're gonna try to clock it. San Fran has 0 pass rush, so that's gonna be a non-factor. So they're gonna have to keep figuring out how to defend on the back end, which it seems like they have been all year. They're 12-5 without a pass rush all year, and they've held Seattle to 13 points twice this year, and it's gonna be 3 times because you know what? 13. You know what the score was? I was actually, I'm probably thinking this because it was the last time. What if it was 13-14 and Seattle, well, Seattle's home, so they would try to kick the field goal. I don't know. I think they're going to score more points than 13 this time, though. They will. It's going to be 17-21. San Fran's going to miss a field goal, but it's going to be early in the game. 17-21. San Fran's going to win this dang ball game. I think they win. And I think McCaffrey balls. And Jake, a.k.a. Bob Tunges. If he wears a shirt underneath and has Bob Tunges under there, good night. It's going to be 32-0 San Fran with Bob Tunges with 14 touchdowns. Anyway, I think San Fran's going to pull this off. I think -7 is crazy, and I don't think Seattle. I think these bye teams are going to have a little trouble out of the gate, and I think San Fran's going to come out and smash the football and find a way to get the ball to Christian McCaffrey a lot. I really do. I think they're going to find a way to get the ball to Christian McCaffrey. What do you think? Yeah. They're going to get it to him. Anyway. Yeah, and then we got Bears, Rams, 2-5 in Chicago. What is that? Is that the night game on Sunday? 6:30 Eastern? Whew. This is going to be an interesting football game. Once again, this might be the game of the weekend. This might be the game of the weekend. Look, let me tell you why. Caleb Williams is like the worst first half quarterback you've ever seen in your life. Caleb Williams will throw the ball to the 4th row before throwing a check down to a wide open receiver. But I swear, this dude will be he'll be down 48 points going into the second half, and he starts throwing like the craziest. He'll be running backwards, and he could like do that 70 yards down the field, and it's like right here, like over a receiver's shoulder, like perfect. Dude, I mean, look, Caleb Williams is a heck of a quarterback, and this is going to be very intriguing because Ben Johnson is both of these offenses are run very similarly. So I don't think there's going to be as much scoring as there might seem there's going to be. Also, it's in Chicago, which we didn't check this for the Seattle game. Let's see Seattle weather Sunday real quick. Excuse me. 49, beautiful. Now what's Chicago? I hope this is going to be just snowing. Oh my God. Yep. 16 degrees, okay? And snowing. 14-mile-an-hour winds. This is going to be a 13-6 football game. This is going to be awesome. 13-3, something like that. It's going to be like 17-10. It's going to be a low-scoring game. It's going to be snowing. Sunday night, under the lights. Stafford, Caleb Williams. Before I saw this temperature, I thought the Rams might still pull it off. And I still think they might. I just don't trust the Magic to keep pulling them along. but it's the weather. That's the difference. It's the weather. And are the Bears going to actually be able to run the football in the weather? Because Stafford throws a good enough ball to where he can still get it to his receiver. Both of these quarterbacks can still sling it. But it's going to be a lot more difficult because it looks... Okay, it's not going to be like super snowing, which is... It's just like one little snowflake, which I don't know really what this Google snow... It looks like 10% precipitation, which kind of stinks. Oh, let's see this one. Let's see. Okay, yeah, it's not going to be really snowing. I think the Bears team has kind of figured out the snow, the cold. They've been playing in it. They've been living in it. And I think early on it's going to shock the Rams, and then it's not going to really be too much of a factor later on in the game. And I think Kyren Williams will have a bigger game, but I also am not sure if the Bears defense... I don't know if the Bears defense will be able to hold up. Now, all you have to do, what I've seen so far, if they can pressure Stafford and just be in the vicinity of Puka, they have a real shot at winning this game. Now, I haven't had a prediction coming into this. And just going back to this Rams-Carolina game and seeing the Rams defense and then seeing how Stafford played when Puka wasn't wide open, and then seeing the Bears play against this Packers team, who I don't think is that good, this Packers team. I did pick the Packers to win, I believe. But it was mostly out of... I thought what the first half was, I didn't think Caleb was going to be able to do that again. And he did. But if the Bears can just start off running the ball and scoring some points early on and hanging on to that, and if their defense can play how they played in the second half, which who knows, because we got staff. It's going to be... The game is going to be won defensively, because both of these teams play quite similarly on offense, to where they both have the same style. And yeah, Caleb Williams throws it down the field a little bit more. And I think the Bears are going to pressure. They're going to pressure Stafford a good amount, because they're going to see that he was struggling a little bit when he was getting pressured and he can't move. They're going to flush him out and try to get him on the move. And it's going to be cold, and they're going to probably be hitting him. And I think that's really going to come into play. And I think the Bears down the stretch know that they can, even if they're losing, they know they have that like internal feeling of, we can still do this. And I think that's very, very, very important, especially in the playoffs. And if their defense can instill that same thing where we stop them, we can freaking do this. I think it's going to be an ugly day for the Rams, if that can happen. But I also think it's going to be just an ugly game in general. With this weather, it's going to be freezing. People's hands are going to be falling off. Okay? Caleb Williams, this might be the coldest game they've played in. 16 degrees, low of 8. It's probably, that low of 8 is like at 8 a.m., so it's going to be around 16 degrees, it's looking like. And the wind is going to be windy, 13 miles an hour. So they're going to have to run the football a lot. And I think the Bears will end up running the ball a lot more. And I think the Bears pull out an upset, and they kick a game-winning field goal in the whipping wind. And it's going to like bend in. And that's how the Bears win the game. I think that's how the game ends. I think it's going to be tight all the way through, and maybe the Rams score. The ending is going to be a heck of a game. I think it's going to be like back and forth, like not back and forth scoring, but it's going to be like field goal, then stop, touchdown, stop. And then it's going to be like stop, and then the last one's going to be like a field goal to win it. So I think it's going to be something like that, or like field goal touchdown or something like that. I don't know. But that's what I'm feeling. I think the Bears do end up pulling it off. Let's see what is the spread here. Let's see, what is this bad boy? The Rams are away -3.5. Yeah, I'm going Bears. I don't think the Rams look good against the Panthers at all. No, I don't think the Bears look great, but I also think that's tough because it's interdivision game. And, you know, it's going to be a tighter game. And I think the Bears are going to end up winning this game. And maybe it won't be blow to blow, but I think the Bears are going to pull it off. And I don't think the Rams defense is going to hold up, which you could say the same thing to the Bears. But I think the Rams defense is a little bit more shoddy. I think Jared Verse is a great player, and he's going to really have to get after it. And their interior O-line is going to have to – it's tough because they got Joe Thuney, and the Bears do, as their guard. And that's going to be tough. And I think if the Bears are like, hey, we're going to run this football, we're going to run it right down their throat and make them stop us, I think it's going to be a tough sledding for the Rams. So I think the Bears pull off the upset because they're +3.5. And I think it's going to be Bears moving on over the Rams, Niners over the Seahawks, 2 upsets. And then it's going to, 2 technically upsets. And then it's going to be Patriots and Bills are going to be moving on. So that's just what I think. I think a lot of these games are going to depend on defenses and how their quarterbacks can hang on to the football. And of course, that's how it always is. That's how the game's played. But I think it's going to be another really interesting weekend. I think there's going to be more defense than there was last week. And if there's not, I don't know. There will be in that Patriots-Texans game. There's going to be really good defense in that game. And the Broncos-Bills game is going to be probably, I feel like, low scoring actually as well. So the only shootout we might have is Sunday night. That could be a shootout. But also, who knows? Any of these games toss up. This is a great weekend. This is a great divisional round. I think this is the best outcome we could have had, honestly. Maybe the Jaguars moving along, they would have played the Patriots. That would have been a great game. But I think the Bills moving along really is going to be interesting because the Bills and the Broncos that's going to be a heck of a football game in Denver. The Patriots defense looked great. Texans defense looked great. So we'll see about that. And then the Seahawks, Niners, they've been a low-scoring game all year. Is this the week? Is this the week that it breaks out and it's a high-scoring game and these teams are just slinging it around the yard? Could be. Jake Bob Tunges could have a huge game, and it's going to be interesting. And also, is Caleb Williams going to have a complete game instead of 2 complete total halves? And will they be able to get after Stafford and force him to not throw it to Puka Nacua and see who else is on that team? We'll see. But that's it for the divisional round breakdown. Maybe later on in the week, I'll come on and talk about something else. Maybe football, maybe not. Maybe something totally different. We'll see. Till then. Catch you next time. Bye.